How's it going, everyone? Today, this is definitely not a video that I wanted to be making. I feel like this year we've had so many of these types of videos where I've just had to like sit down and be frank with you guys, because for some reason this last 6 to 8 months has been riddled with, I guess, bad fish keeping omen. I don't know what else to explain it as. Obviously, I moved a lot of my rare fish into this brand new fish room at home. The settling in period has definitely not been easy. It takes a while to figure out how new systems work, and our water change system is flawed where it doesn't entirely work flawlessly all the time, and we're going to be fixing that. And unfortunately, I had to learn this probably the hardest possible way that I could have in this fish room. It could have happened to any other tank, but it had to happen to me on the one tank that probably meant the most. And to be honest, I actually wasn't going to make this video because I'm sick of all the bad news on the channel. But then I kind of thought that I'd rather be open and completely transparent, because I know that losing fish is part of the hobby, and don't want to make out like I don't make mistakes, because I make a lot of them. I thought that by telling you guys my mistakes and just being completely transparent and open and honest and embarrassed about it, that you could, you know, when you lose your fish, you'd realize, well, everyone loses them. So yeah, unfortunately yesterday was the end of all of my baby zebra plecos' lives. So I recently set this tank up for him a couple of weeks ago with the rainbows and with my peppermints. And yesterday I just happened to make a really tiny little minute error and bombed the tank with chlorine, and it killed all the fish. So the way my fish room works is, due to the fact that I'm pretty time poor at the moment with running my businesses and running the shop, just taking care of 40 aquariums, I have an automatic water change system. And the way the system works is I pump fresh water in through the top left. There's like a water inlet, fresh water comes in, dilutes the tank, and it overflows out the back and goes out to the backyard. Now, the problem with this system is Brisbane has probably the worst tap water in the world for fluoride and chlorine and chloramines. So our water is genuinely just toxic to any fish that you put it in. I've never seen a fish that you can add to fresh Brisbane tap water out of the tap and it won't kill it. It's fucking horrible. Like, I mean, Brisbane tap water is so bad. What I do to combat this is, because I had to set this fish room up like kind of quick and I trusted myself to dose it properly, I go around with Safe, which I make up, and dose it into all of the aquariums that I'm about to treat, turn it on for a certain amount of time, and never run into any issues. But unfortunately yesterday, I chose to run a new water conditioner that I'm trying out, and the water conditioner works perfectly, but the dosage is slightly different, and I just slightly underdosed my zebra pleco tank. And you can see it didn't even kill the rainbows, which is surprising. It didn't even kill the snails or anything in here. It only killed the zebra plecos, and it killed all of them. I put the water change on in the morning yesterday, so about 24 hours ago, and I came back in the afternoon. I was about to go live actually on YouTube, and I came to check out the tank, and it was like probably the most horrific sight that I've ever seen. They were all over the tank, dead. It was horrible. So I was just picking them out. I was holding all these baby zebs in my hand. Like, I had like 8 at the time just sitting in my hand. And I was just looking at them. Yeah, it sucks, because at the start of the year, I had all of the original zebras that I had from a couple of years ago. I had the power outage that wiped out a bunch of them. So we now have a backup generator here. So that happened. And then this has happened as well. So I'm now down to, I think, 4 adult zebs in total. And yeah, I'd raised these babies up from eggs a couple of years ago, and my plan was to breed these. So today is a momentous day here in the fish room. I almost can't believe this. I took my little flashlight, had a look in there, and there was eggs. I guess this is the big moment. There's our first one. I can't believe that I'm actually getting to do this. It's been 4 or 5 years in the making. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you believe this? There's 22 babies, I think. That's the harvest. Yeah, it just kind of all went wrong. So I'm probably going to get you know, a lot of comments saying we should have done this, you should have done that. And it's so easy to comment that. Genuinely, when you're playing with live animals, there's always a risk that stuff's going to go wrong. That's just kind of what happened here. I mean, we are going to be fixing the water change system. So I'm getting a water tank and we're going to pump the water into a water tank now and treat all the water that goes into the fish room before it gets in here. So we should, in theory, never have the issue happen again. But sometimes you just have to make the mistakes to learn. And unfortunately, I just had to make a mistake on my favorite fish. I'm definitely going to get a lot of comments saying what I should have done and all that stuff, and that's fine. You guys can comment that if you want to, if it makes you feel better, but until you make those mistakes, until you have 40 tanks, until you have a busy life that doesn't just evolve around one single fish tank and one single type of fish, yeah, you'll make the same mistakes. So the babies were probably 2 years old. I'm definitely going to miss them. Me and my partner Sanam both were very upset to see it. I remember taking a few up because what would happen is originally 8 died and I just had to I figured out what had happened. I treated the tank was safe and then I just had to slowly watch the rest of them just die off painfully. I came upstairs with them in my hand and I just saw her face drop because we were just talking about the night before how good this tank was looking and doing. It's terrible to see it all go wrong. But look, the reason I'm making this video is that whilst this hurts, this is part of the hobby. I mean, yesterday I wanted to quit completely. I wanted to stop keeping fish forever, but I love fish way too much to do that. And this is part of the risk of keeping any live animal, is that you can kill it. I'm making this video to show you guys that I make mistakes, and I just wanted to tell you because I'm not sure what else to do. But yeah, in future, like with our brand new shop, we're doing this as well. All of the water that goes into our water change system has to be completely safe before it even thinks about touching any of the tanks. It's just too much of a risk for us with the chlorine to be adding that straight into our tanks. What have I learnt? Well, I've learnt that all my future water change systems will have this feature inbuilt. We're also investing in some solar power for this house very soon, so we'll be off the grid and we won't have to worry about power outages anymore because we'll be getting a battery backup system. So hopefully we've kind of gotten through all of the big issues with this room and I can move on to the part that's fun where we get to breed a lot of fish. But yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd be transparent and honest and open, and I hope you guys appreciate that. Yeah, I'm terribly upset, but life moves on. I'll get more zebra plecos someday in the future. I still have 4. I don't know if they're gonna be all males and females, my adults, but who knows, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe there's a female in there, maybe there's a male in there, and hopefully we get some more babies maybe at the end of the year. I don't know. Sorry for the bad news. I feel terribly guilty for those little fish's lives. I really loved them a lot and they will be missed dearly. But thank you for watching the video. Please remember, fish keeping is not completely about successes. The road to becoming, as Dean said, the road to becoming a good fish keeper involves a lot of dead fish. I am figuring this out firsthand and you guys are watching. So yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later, and yeah,